Hey performer, welcome to the Creatively Performing Arts podcast. Are you ready to get back to your creative passion for singing, acting, and dancing again? Hi, I'm Estelle, beginner voice coach, performer, and Christian creative, and I know how it feels to want to use your God-given gifts, but to stay stuck in fear. The solution is to just get started. So, in this podcast, you'll find beginner singing and performing tips, inspiring interviews with artists, and help to push past your fear so you can finally start performing again. So pause your Broadway playlist and take a vocal rest, because the show is starting and you're the star of it. Let's begin. Hey, welcome back to the show. It's Estelle. I'm so excited that you're here today. How are you doing? I am excited because this is my birthday week and I'm so grateful that I've had the chance and the ability to do the show for now a year and a half, which is so crazy. And I'm just reflecting a little bit on the journey and about my journey as a performer and singing and everything. And I'm just so excited for what's to come, even though there are challenges and all these things that I don't know the answer to. I don't know what everything's going to look like in this coming year, but God has brought me this far, so I know He's going to be with me moving forward in my entire life as well as in my creative life, and that's the same for you. And so I'm excited because today I want to talk a little bit about what it looks like to really love your voice and what my journey has been with loving my voice and therefore growing in my confidence as a singer and a performer, especially when it comes to mixing and, all these terms and these aspects of singing, specifically musical theater, the musical theater genre, that were so new to me a couple years ago. And now I've found myself really leaning into and having grown in and continuing to grow in. And it just shows you that so much is possible when you put in time, when you put in the dedication, and when you just start pouring into your creative giftings without abandon and without letting those little doubts, those little fears, that uncertainty hold you back. Like, it's going to be there. Acknowledge it, but don't let it stop you from really getting started and from doing what you are able to do creatively. And that's what the show is all about. And I've talked about this before, but I want to go into that a little bit today. Before I do, oh my gosh, I'm talking about loving my voice and growing in confidence and all of that. And truly, it really does. Like, there are a couple aspects of it that I'll talk about today that are so important for growing in confidence as a singer and performer. And one of the aspects that I've talked about in the past is community and being with other people, as well as loving your voice, as well as practice, and I'll go into this in a minute, but, I would love for you to do that, to experience that community, to experience that ability to practice, to hear about and to understand how to start loving your voice more in process. And that's why I'm doing this free workshop at the start of 2023, in January 2023. I'm doing a free live online workshop. It's going to be on Zoom, and it's going to be with other people who also want to build confidence as singers and performers. And I want you to think about where you want to be vocally, where you want to be as a creative in this next year. If you are looking to develop that confidence in your voice, in yourself as a performer, as an artist, and you don't know where to begin, I would love to help you along that journey. I would love to gather with you on Zoom in a friendly, loving, just genuine atmosphere where we can really talk about and break down what it looks like to build confidence as a singer and a performer. And that's what this workshop is going to be. We're going to talk about really loving your voice. We're going to talk about mixing. We're going to talk about what it looks like to perform with confidence and how that feels, and as well as what it looks like, as well as like the practicality of preparation and practice as well. And so I can't wait to get into that. It's going to be so much fun. If you are interested in joining this free live workshop in January of 2023. Go to the link in the show notes. It says join the performing artist community. It's a Facebook community it's the Facebook community for the show. And that's where you should get started to hear more about this. Go ahead and get started by going to that link and joining the Facebook community. That way, when the registration link drops, you'll be the first to know about it. And you'll be the first to be able to sign up for free. And you'll be able to, you won't even have to get on the wait list. You joining the Facebook group is the wait list. So you'll already be in it, basically. So yeah, make sure you go to the performing artist community, join the community. It really does help. It helps to be around other people who are also starting to use their creative giftings in singing, acting, and dancing, and aren't letting anything hold them back from simply starting. And so if you want to be a more confident singer in 2023, let's go. Don't stop. Don't wait. Right now, go and join the Facebook group and let's begin. Let's begin moving towards confidence and using our creative gifts, okay? All right. So for today, I wanted to just share briefly about, how I've found confidence and really developed confidence. And that doesn't mean that I'm like perfect performer, and doesn't mean that I don't get nervous. I absolutely do. I absolutely do. And that just means, and it's just because I care about the performance. It's just because I love to perform and I want to do well. And, sometimes it depends on my level of preparation too, right? We're all human. But I can say that 2 years ago, in 2020, when I decided, I really want to lean into my creative giftings in dancing and singing and acting. I wasn't taking voice lessons at the time, but I wanted to start working on growing as a dancer. So I started taking dance classes online, especially around when when quarantine happened. I was taking dance lessons online, and it was around that time that I started to hear about mixing and find out how I can use and also start working on my vibrato. So I was working on vibrato and mixing in my own personal practice time, because I was dedicating time to practicing as a singer, because I was singing every week at church. I was ministering every week at church. And so I realized that I really needed that continued support in vocal development so that I could sustain that. And over time, even though I had some breaks in between where I wasn't, dancing as much, I continued to work on myself vocally. I continued to sing. I continued to work on vibrato, work on mixing, do exercises that really helped. And now, my vibrato it's so natural. It comes easily most of the time. I don't have a bright tone. I have a naturally kind of darker tone. And that comes out because I've had this time to really work on my voice and really love it for where it is. I don't need it to sound bright or to sound a certain way just because I'm singing musical theater. I realize I can enjoy and love my voice as it is, no matter the genre that I'm singing. And yes, there are differences in genre that, I'm going to play into. I might allow some brightness to come into my tone, but I'm never going to change my tone completely just because I'm singing a type of genre. And this understanding of my voice and understanding how, I can incorporate mixing and vibrato to really build a healthy singing habit, to really build a healthy voice, all the while accepting my voice as it is, loving the tone that I have, embracing that and not comparing myself to other singers. That has really helped me grow. So it's not just, it's knowing the technical aspects and growing and developing those technical aspects is so key. And that was number one. So that's when I started working on vibrato, working on mixing, building, trying to work on breath support, because I still struggle with breath support sometimes. Honestly, that's something that's my Achilles heel. It's always been there. And I'm always going to keep working on that, right? So that technique, working on technique, and really the practicality of working on the technique of your voice is one great step to really building that confidence and loving your voice. Because when you know your voice, you know the voice, you know how to sing in a healthy manner, it's going to help you love your voice more and to want to take care of it and then to feel more confident in it. So that's one thing that I did. And then another thing that I did was choosing to accept my voice and process, I would say. Choosing to know that, my voice isn't going to be, perfect, whatever that even means, tomorrow. I have to be in process. I have to know that there are going to be some days that are good singing days, that are better singing days than others. There's no bad or good singing days, I would say. But there are some days that are better than others because because I'm human and my instrument is a part of my body, and you have like better hair days and you have not as good hair days, right? Or you have better, it just depends on so many factors, what you're eating, how your sleep is, and your emotions, and all these things. And so we have to give ourselves grace and to know that we are in process. And that really has helped me to know that, I'm going to get better over time. Like, I'm always going to grow over time because I'm putting in the work. And so I can love my voice as it is now. I can see the beauty in it. I can see how I've grown so far. I can see the strength in it. I can see my creativity, and I can appreciate that. And so that's another thing I did, is just accepting the process and choosing. It's a choice, choosing to accept my voice and process. And then another thing I did is really practice, practicing performing, putting myself in front of that video camera and putting my videos out on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube even, and performing in person as well, ministering, leading in worship. All of those things really help build confidence because it's practice. You're practicing putting yourself out there. You're practicing sharing what you're working on by applying it. What you're working on, I would practice singing certain songs with vibrato, and then I would actually apply it and put it out there. And it, that was it. That was the song. And so that consistent practice of doing it over and over again was another thing that has helped me love my voice, because the more you stick with something, the more you stay with something, it's like you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. So you might as well love it because it's your voice and you're working with it, day in, day out, or however many days a week that you're taking that consistent practice time. So you learn to love it, and that helps you build confidence. So those are just a couple of things that have helped me in loving my voice and building confidence over time. And I hope that really encourages you to know that this is possible for you. Okay. And I think that being a part of this free workshop is going to really help you. We're going to talk even deep, dig into these topics even more about technique, about practice, and about loving your voice and process. And I hope that you'll be able to join this workshop. Go to the free community on Facebook. Be sure to join, and you'll hear more about this workshop. I'm so excited. It's going to be great. I hope you have a blessed week. I hope to speak to you soon. I have so many more incredible interviews coming up, so make sure you subscribe to this podcast. Truly, you do not want to miss out. I have singers, musicians, actors coming up, so you do not want to miss out. There are some great conversations that I can't wait to share with you. And also, if you can think of one person who loves to sing, who wants to build their confidence as a performer, that you could share this with to encourage them, go ahead and share this. You never know how you can make someone's day. So go ahead and share this. And lastly, it really, really helps podcasts when you leave reviews. So if you enjoyed this free content, I would love for you to please go ahead and leave a 5-star rating and review below, or whatever rating you want to leave, whatever kind of review you want to leave. It really does help me see that you're enjoying the show, as well as, help get the show out to more people who can grow and learn to use their creative gifts as well. So thank you so much for being here. I will talk to you later, and have an amazing week. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Creatively Performing Arts Podcast. I hope you feel encouraged, inspired, and truly impacted by today's episode. And if you can think of one person who would love this show, please share this episode with a friend. And if you wouldn't mind going to Apple Podcasts and leaving a review and rating, it will take 30 seconds, and it would truly immensely help this show grow and reach more people who need to use their creative gifts as well. And finally, go to the Performing Arts community on Facebook and join this online free community for you to interact with and connect with other artists. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much, and I will talk to you later.